Hello, this is Jeff Charlton with Graphic Connections Group. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about one of our direct mail options, which is direct mail letters. The letter category has several options to it. I just want to kind of go over that. When I talk about letters, I'm talking about something that it's a letter that goes into a traditional envelope. It's that simple. However, there are a lot of different options you can choose in terms of the type of letter and the type of envelope you choose. So let's talk about the letters first. In letters, you can do either what I call a business type letter, which usually has a logo and is typewritten and looks very formal, or you can do a handwritten letter, which is very popular these days. In the real estate world, they call them yellow letters, which is a handwritten letter on a yellow piece of paper that looks like you sat down at home and literally wrote someone a letter. But even in the business world, handwritten letters are very popular because it looks very personal. In the world of direct mail, the more personal, the more effective the mail piece, and certainly handwritten looks very personal. Now, I'll tell you, we are not sitting down and handwriting these letters. We are doing this digitally with technology. So in today's world, there are fonts that are very, very convincing handwritten fonts. In fact, they're actually made of people's handwriting, and they turn that into a font. We can print in different colors, such as red ink or blue ink, which makes it look really real. Because if you think about it, if you sat down to write somebody a letter, you're probably going to use a blue ink pen, maybe a black ink pen, maybe even a red ink pen. And so by doing it in a color, it looks more authentic. We can even add things like doodles to it that make it look like someone was doodling on the paper while they're writing the letter. The point is, it can be anything you want, whether it's handwritten or business, on any kind of paper you want, front and back or front only, either way. Typically letters are 8.5 by 11. However, we also offer what I call a monarch size or an invitation size letter, which is a special campaign we've developed here at Graphic Connections, where it's a little bit smaller piece of paper. It looks like stationery. It's the same thing. It can be handwritten or it can be typewritten. And that particular campaign goes into a stationary envelope. And so that brings me to the point about envelopes. There are different kinds of envelopes. You can use standard number 10 business envelopes. And typically if someone writes a business letter, they're going to do a standard number 10 business envelope. So you can also do a number 10 window envelope. You can use an invitation style envelope. You can use a 6x9 envelope. You can use a fake priority mail envelope. We've developed a couple of designs that we own that are fake priority mail, which when I say fake priority mail, it's not actual U.S. Postal Service priority mail, or it's not FedEx or UPS, but it looks like it. There's graphics on the envelope that make it look like it's a very important envelope, and we have found that people tend to open those envelopes at a higher rate because they look very important. So again, which envelope you choose has everything to do with what type of campaign you're going to mail. If you're looking for something to be very personalized, say handwritten type of letter, putting that in an invitation size envelope, in fact using the monarch size in the invitation envelope would be the ideal scenario. If you're sending a business letter and you want to put it in a business number 10 envelope, or maybe a 6x9 envelope, or even maybe the fake priority, because there are business envelopes that are sent FedEx, so you're still trying to get someone's attention to open it, and sending something in a priority envelope is a good idea. We can match on the outside of the envelope the same font we used on the inside of the envelope. So if you wrote a handwritten letter in a blue font, we can put that same blue handwritten font on the outside of the envelope. Let's talk about postage. Postage is another factor you got to consider. On envelopes, again, what are you trying to do? What audience are you going for? If you're going to a business audience, using just a pre-sort or a meter are probably okay. If you're going for the handwritten look, doing a stamp, either first class or standard mail, is a better idea. Now we've got something at Graphic Connections Group that's somewhat unique. We use standard mail stamps, and standard mail again is another word for bulk mail, and it's cheaper. It's about 20 cents cheaper per letter to use standard over first class. However, we've got a method where we put on a standard mail stamp and we actually pre-print an indicia over that that's approved by the post office that looks like a post office cancellation. So when the people get it, it looks like it was a first class envelope to them, but really it was a standard mail envelope. And it's very effective and it's very cost effective because it's cheaper than first class mail. Only drawback to that is when you use standard mail, it takes longer to deliver. The post office takes between 2 to 4 weeks to deliver standard mail, whereas first class mail is generally delivered within a week. So if time is of the essence, you don't want to use standard mail. But if you're looking to save money, you do want to use standard mail. So that's pretty much it. Letters, again in summary, you can print any kind of letter, with various different types of envelopes, any kind of postage, any kind of font. We can do it all for you and get it out in a timely fashion.